Last year it was LSU winning 107-100. Who knows what's going to happen this year? Both these teams like to shoot and hit shots. LSU trying to go inside, and Reagan Beers making her presence felt right away. Elias Chavez into the corner. It's like we drew that up, Drea.
Yeah, Kim Mulkey is going to be very frustrated with the early transition defense for LSU.
Here's Michaela Williams trying to shake off Sahara Williams. Those two have been teammates on the USA basketball scene before. Jada Richard elevating at the free throw line. Amaya Joyner with the rebound. Over to Grace Knox, and a foul called. It's going to be the first against Elias Chavez, who's one of the top freshmen in the nation. Well, Drea, we talked to Kim Mulkey before this one, and she said when you're on the road in the SEC, you have to have the mindset that you start the game down 10-0.
And she would love that effort from Amaya Joyner on the offensive glass. Both coaches emphasize the importance of rebounding in this matchup.
Watching this LSU team against Texas, what did you learn about LSU?
That this team, one, can have a level of toughness. When you watch this LSU team against Vanderbilt, against Kentucky, they were so disappointed in their inability to play with toughness and discipline defensively. And I thought LSU against Texas, they were locked in on the defensive end, and that helped them flow into their offense. But the toughness stood out to me.
Now, toughness is a word that Kim Mulkey has been looking from her team for a while, and she found it. There's some toughness as Flau'jae Johnson swipes it from Zaya Van. Flau'jae, their leading scorer, number 4 in purple. A spin, but can't get around. Sahara Williams back the other way for Oklahoma. They love to play with pace. Peyton Verhulst from deep. Oklahoma's looking to bounce back. They have dropped 2 tough games. What's got to change for the Sooners today?
Well, their offense. Offensively, they haven't had a flow in these 2 recent losses. They weren't playing with a flow offensively and poor spacing. What do we see here? The third three-pointer. That is already better spacing to start the game for Oklahoma on offense.
You want offense? We got offense. Michaela Williams trying to work on the block. Man, Sahara Williams is playing some solid defense. LSU is going to get the O board. And that's going to be a foul on Zaya Van.
This Oklahoma Sooners team will test your transition defense because players are so used to sprinting back into the paint. You can't sprint to the paint against Oklahoma. You have to stay wide because of their ability to knock down threes. They're only making 7 threes a game so far this season, but Oklahoma has been known as a three-point shooting team, and that's what Jenny Bronchick wants.
There's a traveling violation called on Amaya Joyner. 7 threes a game, Dre. They've already made 3.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we talked to Jenny Bronchick, and she said that she feels like her team has had terrible spacing offensively.
Reagan Beers was by herself for a second down low. They can hit him outside. She can hit him inside. Richard stepping around. Chavez gets the swish.
It's a nice read by Jada Richard. She is the engine to this LSU team.
Back-to-back possessions. Oklahoma goes inside to Reagan Beers. She is a problem for opponents.
And she's especially a problem when she gets a deep steal. 2 feet in the paint, it is game over. She was 8 of 8 from the field against LSU last season.
Grace Knox trying to go over the defense. Sahara Williams has to kick it back out to Verhulst. First time they've missed a 3. Verhulst not giving up on the play, missed the layup.
LSU caught a break on that one. If you're on the LSU side, you have to wake up. LSU looks like they're starting this game. You said start the game like they're 10 points down. They've started the game like they have a 10-point lead. They need more intensity.
Short corner shot from Flau'jae Johnson. LSU now 1 for 7 to start this game. Ginny Baranchuk, you look at how her team stacks up, and man, they are tops of the nation in so many categories. This would be the best offensive team in Oklahoma history. They average 90.8 points per game.
They have so many weapons. We talked about Chavez and Beers to start the game, but Peyton Verhulst, also someone that can score, only averaging 10 points a game this season. Last year against LSU, put up 26.
I think everybody had about 20 points in that game. It was 107-100. First time in an SEC game, both teams scored 100 points. Richard now setting it up on the wing for LSU. Steps back into the three, holds the follow through.
Jada Richard is tough. I watched LSU practice here in this arena yesterday. She barely missed a shot. She is an excellent shooter.
I feel like I forget she's just a sophomore.
Coach Mulkey said Jada Richard worked extremely hard to earn this starting spot and learn how to run this team in the offseason. Even there, comes down the court, Zakiya Johnson with the steal. She gets the ball right to Johnson on the inside, and then here's that three-point shot. It's the way she drops her shoulder that makes Peyton Verhulst stop for just a second. Jada Richard drops her shoulder like she's going to drive and then pulled back into that three-point shot. She just has a smooth and cleanness about her game.
She was the only freshman on the LSU roster last year. This is Zakiya Johnson at the free throw line. She was fouled by Brooklyn Stewart.
Zakiya Johnson is another player that I've enjoyed watching this season, just a workhorse. Came to LSU to originally play the 3, but Kim Mulkey didn't think she could find minutes for Zakiya Johnson, so she moved her to the 4, and Zakiya Johnson has handled it really well.
Oklahoma started out hot, but recently they've missed their last 4 shots, and that's going to be a turnover as Aaliyah Chavez steps out of bounds.
And with Reagan Beers being on the bench now, something that LSU emphasized in practice yesterday, as soon as Reagan Beers goes to the bench, LSU needs to hunt the rim and hunt the paint for layups.
Hey, Mylasia Flau'jae's in the game. Always got to keep an eye on her, number 23 in purple.
Mylasia Flau'jae is one of those players that can certainly find her way into the paint, and when she does, she has to think score.
Chavez lets it fly. That's a tough shot. Here goes Flau'jae. Is she thinking score? She's got to hang on to the basketball. Michaela Williams sidestepping the 3, and she'll be fouled by Keziah Lofton. After that hot start, they led by as many as 9 already in this game, but since then 0 for 5. That's allowed LSU to go on a 6-0 run, make it a 7-0 run as Michaela Williams is at the free throw line, hits the first.
LSU is a team that's dangerous in transition as well, so they started to get stops on the defensive end and then could flow into their offense, and that's how they got back in this game.
Yeah, both of these teams don't mind playing with pace, right?
At all. No, both teams, they want to play fast and get the first available good shot.
Oklahoma first in the nation when it comes to pace of play. And a little pressure coming from LSU.
Well, the pressure first happened when Sahara Williams tripped. That was the first pressure.
The unintentional pressure.
She got back up with a smile. It's one thing I like about Sahara Williams, though. When she plays with joy and enthusiasm, it spreads to her teammates.
Okay, Smith off the mark on her shot. Up ahead to Flau'jae. Richard. No. Lofton hits Verhulst in transition. She's already hit 1 3 from there today. Richard brings it all the way through over to Williams.
And this is where Michaela Williams is dangerous, coming off of ball screens.
And Flau'jae stepped out of bounds as she caught the basketball. Mylasia Flau'jae, the transfer from South Carolina, where she won a national championship. And Kim Mulkey told us she's got a long leash. She's an experienced player. They want her to go out and be herself.
Yeah, we talked to Kim Mulkey, and the reason why she said that leash is long, she said Mylasia is a third-year SEC player. She's a national champion, and she has the offensive tools that can help you get leads, stretch leads. So when she makes mistakes, Mulkey wants her to play through those mistakes.
Right now she's guarding the ball on Zaya Van. Reagan Beers back on the floor for Oklahoma with that 1 foul. 8 seconds, they skip it across to Smith. Beers has got to go. Sahara Williams had to turn around and take that shot. A second chance. Williams for 3. 4 3-pointers for Oklahoma.
And that 3 came from an offensive rebound. It was a great defense from LSU, but they couldn't finish the possession. Sahara Williams already having a bounce-back game from the Kentucky loss.
Sahara Williams came into this game with 8 threes on the season, and she's hit 2.
And she came into this game against Kentucky. She was 1 of 7 from the field. She's already knocked down a couple of shots. Zaya Van there just gets into the paint slightly. The little pitch back to Sahara Williams. She steps in and knocks it down. The ability to flush a game that didn't go your way and turn the page, it is so impressive to me.
Beers taking the long ball. Kate Koval with the rebound. Oh man, Malaysia Flau'jae will set things up. She came to LSU to learn the point guard position. Richard. Short off the iron into the hands of Smith.
That's a nice job by Richard at coming off the screen, but she double clutched on her shot. That's why it was short.
Smith just short, and there's a foul away from the ball. This is going to be LSU basketball. Kate Koval found herself up on the ground. And that's the second on Reagan Beers. I mean, how big is that, Drea?
It's huge. I mean, we saw earlier, as soon as Reagan Beers went to the bench, what happened? A Malaysia Flau'jae layup. LSU is hunting the paint. It looks to me like Kate Koval just got tripped up. Feet got caught together.
Look, Reagan Beers has been so tough for Oklahoma, but she can't be tough when she's on the bench. That's a problem.
It is absolutely a problem, and it's something that Jenny Baranczyk talked about in last season's matchup. She felt like Reagan Beers got into foul trouble, couldn't stay on the floor, couldn't get into a flow. And it was one of the first things Coach Baranczyk told us today when we talked to her about Reagan Beers. She said she needs to stay on the floor.
Koval gets 1 of 2, the transfer from Notre Dame. Flau'jae gets the pick in transition, back up ahead to Flau'jae. How about the move from Kate Koval?
And that's one of the differences without having Reagan Beers on the floor. Brooklyn Stewart, number 21 in white, she is a freshman. LSU will look to attack her on the inside.
It's an LSU team that averages 54 points in the paint per game. They've got the upper hand right now. Flau'jae, the extra hold on the follow through, and a little flex.
Look at Malaysia Flau'jae, the effort in denying Chavez so she doesn't get the ball.
Look at that defense. Flau'jae full go.
Talked to Malaysia yesterday at practice, and she said that she thinks her defense is better this season because she's in better shape. The conditioning level, she said mentally and physically, she feels like she is in much better shape.
Eric and Debbie, thank you. What a game. Louisville extending its win streak to 11 in a row. We're here in Norman, Oklahoma. Courtney Lyle and Andrea Carter with you. The top 2 scoring offenses in the nation in front of a sold-out crowd. Right now, LSU is on an 18-3 run.
Reagan Beers already with 2 fouls in the first quarter, had to go to the bench, and LSU has been able to go on a run. They're getting stops on the defensive end, and they are attacking on offense.
It was Oklahoma who came out hot. They started 3 for 3 from behind the arc. They've already hit 4 3-pointers in this game, but have struggled missing their last 5 shots as of late. Malaysia Flau'jae setting up the offense for LSU, number 23 in purple. 9 seconds for Flau'jae Johnson. She's their leading scorer. Can't hit at the free throw line. This is going to stay with the Tigers. Well, it was a week ago today, Drea, that LSU pulled off one of the biggest wins of the season. They took down Texas. That was the first time Texas had lost a game, and you heard the word toughness mentioned after that one.
LSU finally showed some toughness, what Kim Mulkey felt like they didn't have in their losses against Vanderbilt and Kentucky. They showed that they learned those lessons in their matchup against Texas.
Flau'jae Chavez trying to throw one up at the buzzer, and LSU.
I think these two are very important for today's game.
Yeah, rebounding and defense. You always heard Pat Summitt talk about that. You're always going to hear Kim Mulkey talk about that. And for Kim Mulkey, her team third in the nation in reboundings. Oklahoma first in the nation in rebounds per game.
Yeah, and same thing when it comes to number 6, and Pat Stephenot doesn't make hard work your passion. Scoring baskets, getting points, all of those things are great, but those things come as a result of the hard work that you have to put in and day out.
LSU ended the first quarter on an 11-0 run. They got off to a slow start because Oklahoma was just off to a hot start in this game. 5 of 6 to start, but they've cooled off since then. Inside to Flau'jae Johnson. Tipped up and in, LSU. Oklahoma, meanwhile, on this end, Drea, 0 for their last 7. They're just 1 for their last 16.
It's extremely difficult without Reagan Beers on the floor because they don't have a big that Oklahoma can play through. They don't have a big they can go to or play through while Beers is on the bench.
And she picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Here's the outstanding freshman, Flau'jae Chavez, number 2 in white.
Now you see how far LSU's defenders, they're comfortable getting out of the paint, and it just spreads the defense out because there's not that interior threat.
2 seconds. Peyton Verhulst has got to go. That's going to be an offensive foul. Leaned into Michaela Williams. It'll be the first on Verhulst.
Michaela Williams played great defense in the win against Texas. She had the Madison Booker matchup, and there, Verhulst with a little lean into her, that elbow. Michaela Williams sells it well. Gets the offensive foul on Verhulst.
I think Michaela Williams might be feeling herself a little bit on the defensive end. What do you think?
She should be.
Yeah.
I would be feeling myself too if I had to lock down Madison Booker and I was getting tips on the ball and I had a career high 5 steals. That's what Michaela Williams did, in addition to putting up 20 points on Sunday.
Jada Richard, the sophomore point guard, on the miss. Zaya Van, the kick out. And there's going to be a whistle before that shot.
Tigers foul number 12, Michaela Williams.
And that foul is on Michaela Williams. It'll be her first. Well, she joked in the post-game press conference after Texas. They've been doing a team award for defensive player of the game, and she said, you know, I just want to point it out there, Coach Starkey, I should be getting that award.
And I think she did.
She did.
But she earned it. She definitely earned it. Nice move from Peyton Verhulst. She is a player that, especially with Reagan Beers on the bench, Peyton Verhulst can create her own shot.
She's going to need to, just as you said. Good chance Reagan Beers might sit out the rest of this quarter with those 2 fouls. She's very valuable. Flau'jae Johnson coming off the screen. That looked pretty. Their leading scorer, averaging 14.5 per game. She already has 8.
And that is something you will see from LSU's offense over and over again. The guards getting screens to come into the middle for them to cook.
Brooklyn Stewart inside. Oklahoma finding some paint points. Flau'jae Johnson. And just off the fingertips of Kate Koval. So Oklahoma gets the bucket. Now they get a stop on this end as they're trying to come back. They've led by as many as 9.
And things like this will help. I mean, what an excellent read and cut from Brooklyn Stewart on that last possession. We talked about Oklahoma's spacing. That back door is available because of the spacing.
Zaya Van just being patient.
Very patient. And again, spacing. I hate to harp on the same thing, but Zaya Van, the entire baseline was open, so that backdoor cut was available. And then, like you said, the patience, little head fake for Van to finish.
Flau'jae trying to take an opening, and she's going to go to the free throw line. Second foul whistled against Brooklyn Stewart, so now that's 2 post players for Oklahoma with 2 fouls.
And if you're on the LSU side, you continue to put pressure. If Brooklyn Stewart is going to stay in the game, that is a matchup that they can hunt. Look for Amaya Joyner to get a deep steal in the paint next time LSU comes down.
Flau'jae Johnson at the free throw line for 2. Well, want to let you know there's more women's college basketball Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern over on ESPN. Number 2 South Carolina is going to be here in Norman to take on Oklahoma. The game is also available on the ESPN app. And of course, South Carolina coming off a win over Texas. So Texas has dropped 2 in a row.
Yeah. The SEC is a gauntlet for everyone.
Brooklyn Stewart just swishing threes. Her 3rd of the season.
Huge minutes for Brooklyn Stewart with Reagan Beers on the bench. That level of confidence from a freshman to knock that down, very impressive.
And the fact that she's still out there with 2 fouls. Oh, Flau'jae knew that was going in. She's got 13. Brooklyn Stewart on the other end, too quick, you gotta get back.
Can't celebrate shots against this Oklahoma team. They look to run and play fast in transition. How impressive has Brooklyn Stewart been? Talk about stepping up when your name and number are called.
Flau'jae on the miss there. To your point on pace, Oklahoma first in the nation in pace of play. Both teams don't mind going fast, though. Zaya Van got caught down low, almost went in. Flau'jae's got the ball. She scored their last 7 points. Grace Knox on the rebound.
And you see how quickly both teams like to get up and down the floor.
Guess who? Brooklyn Stewart. She's got 9. Her season high is 11. Stolen away by Van. Up ahead to Kaya Smith by herself. Fulwiley to the SEC logo, and she's fouled. Watch out for the freshman.
In the wire, we've got a good one here.
Hey, you heard Kevin and Megan talk about it in the studio. Reagan Beers on the bench with 2 fouls for most of this first half.
And I know Oklahoma is down, but I want to say how impressive it is that they're still in this game the way that they are. It's single digits with Beers on the floor. This turnover is not going to be any good.
How have they kept it close?
Well, getting out in transition, getting stops, getting out in transition. What's impressed me is Oklahoma, with Beers only playing 6 minutes, Oklahoma has more paint points than LSU. It's only 2 more paint points than LSU, but they've been able to get into the paint off of offensive rebounds and transition layups.
Since Beers went to the bench, LSU is on a 25-15 run. Fulwiley cooking, 5 seconds, over to Johnson. Yeah, that's a traveling violation. You know, we were talking in the break about LSU. No Reagan Beers on the floor. Do you not go inside?
You have to go inside. I mean, there are times where in this second quarter while Reagan Beers is out, I feel like LSU has lost the plot a little bit. Reagan Beers is on the bench. The focus should be attacking the rim. Now that takes spacing. I mean, LSU is a team. They run a lot of ball screen actions. They'll run some off-ball screens coming into the paint, but when you're coming off of those ball screens or when you're getting the ball on the cut in the middle of the floor, you've got to think, turn your shoulder and get to the rim.
Michaela Williams will take the shot from the elbow, and it bounces out. Grace Knox trying to go on the floor to get the ball with Sahara Williams.
That, to me, is a settle. When I talk about losing the plot, Michaela Williams, she can hit that shot. That jab step mid-range pull-up is fine. But try to take Verhulst off the bounce going right. Michaela Williams is a right-handed player. She's got the entire right side to try and attack, but she pulls up for a shot.
I mean, Michaela Williams doesn't have a field goal in this game. Coming off putting up a 20 spot on Texas in that win. 8 seconds here for Oklahoma. Zaya Van working on Richard.
Zaya Van, still a sophomore, plays with so much speed, but has to be on balance.
Flau'jae to the rack. She's got 15. That's over her season average per game. Williams will bring it back out. She's hit 2 threes already, that one short.
And that's where Oklahoma needs a ball reversal. Ball stayed on one side. Nice hezzy by Flau'jae.
Michaela Williams, 2 feet in the paint. And Jenny Bronchek is going to call time out.
Her losses against Vanderbilt and Kentucky, they didn't know how to hold on to a lead. She said they had leads in that game, but it's the little things to keep a lead that this team wasn't able to do, that they were able to do against Texas.
Everybody talks about their weak non-conference strength of schedule. But she had 8 new players coming in. 4 freshmen wanted to learn about this team. And now they've certainly been tested in the SEC. It's their 4th ranked opponent in SEC play over their first 5 games. And she told us today, look, we are playing for the NCAA tournament to be our best then, but also to get a good spot there, we've got to finish in the top half of the SEC.
Yep, she talked about finishing in the top half of the SEC, hosting those NCAA tournament games, and then having her team feel their best and be the strongest to make a deep run in the tournament.
Well, Reagan Beers back on the floor with 2 fouls. She's got to be really careful with 1:51 to go. Brooklyn Stewart on the bench with 3 fouls.
The last late violation on LSU.
Grace Knox called for the violation, getting in too early, going in on the free throw. And if you're LSU, the best thing they could try and do is pick up that 3rd foul on Reagan Beers.
The training staff is over there taking a look at Brooklyn Stewart on the Oklahoma bench. We'll keep an eye on that. Beers trying to work hard to get the ball. That's what she can do.
That's a great job. The immediate seal and the delivery of the pass. It was the timing of both of those actions that made that an easy turn and score.
Flau'jae can't send it through because Kaya Smith is there. Back to Beers.
The physicality. Look at the seal. Ball's thrown immediately. There's no hesitation. She's able to turn and score. It was the quickness of the action. As soon as the ball goes to the top, Reagan Beers sealed.
Swatted away, and now Oklahoma trying to work in transition. Koval is there to scoop up the loose basketball. Possession arrow pointing towards LSU.
It was good transition defense by Michaela Williams. She saves that layup with the effort in the sprint back. Some extended pressure here for Oklahoma. We'll see if they fall back into a man defense or into a zone defense. Looks like they're going zone, which can help protect Reagan Beers a little bit defensively.
Koval will screen for Richard. Oh, that was nice.
Jada Richard.
Aaliyah Chavez dumping inside to Sahara Williams. Back to Beers, the long 2. Got it! She's got 8.
Missed a couple of threes in the first quarter. So what does she do? Takes a step in, able to knock that down.
LSU can take the last shot of the quarter. They've led by the half. They've led by as many as 12 today. Jada Richard. Michaela Williams got to the corner, shook off the defense. No. Chavez. 1-2 and a heave off the mark. And LSU
going to get early buckets. That's great. If they can't, their spacing in the half-court offense needs to be elite.
And those 2 things, transition and their offensive spacing, were very good to start the game, but went away quickly. That's a good shot. Corner pocket. Peyton Verhulst. That is 6 3-pointers. Oklahoma averages 7 a game.
And Peyton Verhulst already knocked down 2 threes so far in this game. Coming into today, the last 5 games, Verhulst was 3 of 25 from beyond the arc.
Peyton Verhulst averages 10 points per game. Flau'jae Johnson misses into the hands of Zaya Van. Up ahead to Verhulst. And the ball movement quickly up the floor. Flau'jae defending. Stops Sahara Williams. LSU looking for back-to-back ranked wins for the first time since their 2023 championship run in the Final Four and that championship game. Meanwhile, Oklahoma trying to bust out of a 2-game losing streak. 5 seconds for Jada Richard. The long 2 goes.
Jada Richard.
It's my favorite element of Richard's game is her mid-range pull-up. She elevates so much.
And Jada Richard came in. Last year, she was the only freshman, and she had to figure out what is the standard, what does Kim Mulkey want?
And Kim Mulkey is hard on point guards, and you see there, I mean, gets low with her dribble right into her shot. Jada Richard has spent a lot of time with assistant coach Bob Starkey watching film and learning what Kim Mulkey wants. She has put the time in to be the point guard of this team.
You better believe if you don't give her what she wants, Kim Mulkey will tell you.
She will.
But Coach Mulkey told us before the game, Jada Richard makes us go. So does Flau'jae Johnson.
And Oklahoma has to communicate. They're on their back line of that zone. No one told the guards that Flau'jae was cutting.
LSU basketball.
Last touch for the Sooners.
Johnson off the screen. Aaliyah Chavez kicks it back to Zaya Van. Reagan Beers needs a touch, does she not? Hey, we'll take that though. Zaya Van on the three.
Open threes created by each other and created by the system. That is what Jenny Baranczyk is completely fine with. If it is an open, good look. The issue with Oklahoma at times is they have gotten into forcing shots. And an issue for Oklahoma today has been Flau'jae Johnson.
19 points for Flau'jae. We're not even halfway through the third quarter.
And that's the second time in a row she's hit that middle elbow jump shot. Oklahoma's got to check her when she cuts.
Hey, here's a touch for Reagan Beers. She has taken her game to another level. It starts with being in the best shape. She has bought into everything the Oklahoma staff has asked her to do.
Yeah, her conditioning level is something that is noticeable this season. She is in much better shape, staying out of foul trouble, still something she is working on, but she has gotten in great condition.
And only played 8 minutes in the first half because of 2 fouls. 9 seconds, Michaela Williams. And Michaela Williams, only 1 field goal made. Let's go back to Beers.
Yeah, she just does such a good job getting a seal deep in the paint. Just has to take 1 dribble, turn, and finish. We've seen it multiple times already, that matchup between Kate Koval. Reagan Beers is very comfortable operating and turning over that left shoulder to finish.
She's a 2-time All-American, a 2-time Lisa Leslie Award finalist. Spent 2 seasons at Oregon State, and because the Pac-12 went away for a little bit, that's why she went into the transfer portal, and Oklahoma is glad that she did. So weirdly, they can thank the Pac-12. First foul on Flau'jae. And this is going to be the first time, Drea, that Oklahoma is shooting free throws.
And it's a nice attack by Zaya Van. You have to put pressure on LSU's defense, and sometimes it's hard with this Oklahoma offense because they want to shoot a lot of threes. They want to play with a lot of pace. It's easy to settle for threes, and this is a young team, so they're trying to find that balance between what is a good shot, what is a rush shot, when do we have the advantage, when do we not. Zaya Van is still just a sophomore. Played a lot last season, but is still figuring out when she needs to attack and put pressure on the defense or kick it out to her teammates. Aaliyah Chavez, who has been very limited so far today, she's figuring those things out as well.
Flau'jae inside to Kate Koval. And a pretty move. That is so smooth. Just a sophomore, the transfer from Notre Dame, originally from the Ukraine. Chavez 3 won't go. How do you feel about Oklahoma's shots today?
I think they've been much better today. That one by Aaliyah Chavez was rushed, but before that, I don't feel like they've taken very many rushed shots, and they've created for each other. Think about this Oklahoma team, 18 assists on 18 makes.
Wow. Koval's put back is short. Sahara Williams fighting for it, dishes it up ahead to Chavez. Man, back to Beers.
Great ball movement.
Peyton Verhulst, that's who you want shooting. Richard. Okay, breaking some ankles.
And start to finish, because that's something they worked on in practice. When Oklahoma ices ball screens, Jada Richard handled it perfectly.
Too much on the three from Williams. This will be LSU basketball.
Who was also just loved and cherished by the women's basketball community.
Absolutely. Grace Knox with the putback. Kim Mulkey's team led by 10 at the half. Oklahoma's been trying to play catch-up. Reagan Beers back on the floor. She was in foul trouble in the first half, but has only taken one shot in the second half.
And that was great action on the high-low. Beers just lost the pass.
LSU foul number 13.
Reagan Beers showing a little turn, the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack baseline. To me, Reagan Beers is the advantage. She should get a touch down the floor. If it's a wide open layup, if it's a wide open three that's created off of a paint touch, that's great. But Beers is the advantage here and needs touches inside.
Peyton Verholst will take the inbounds pass up off the window. She's at 13 points. 7-point lead, LSU. Just the third meeting all time between these two programs. Last year it went 107 to 100 in favor of LSU.
We've had a little more defense so far today.
I think so. That's a 2 from Flau'jae. No. Flau'jae step back. Yes! 21 points for Flau'jae. Her season high is 25. Chavez, too much traffic.
We talk about Flau'jae Johnson and her scoring so far today, and she has been able to get everything with ease. I mean, this mid-range shot here, she sees Reagan Beers, backs it up. Beers' hand isn't even up. That is something that Flau'jae Johnson can knock down in her sleep. But Flau'jae's defensive effort has also been strong today.
Oh, a dangerous pass inside. Oh, speaking of defense, Drea.
But that play is saved from the effort of Flau'jae Johnson. She put up 27 against Oklahoma last season. I think she likes this matchup. And you see here, Beers, that is a mismatch. Tries to get the pass over the top. Flau'jae wasn't even fronting. I'm not going to say it was on purpose, but the effort saved the play.
Flau'jae and Reagan Beers, actually summer teammates playing for USA Basketball. And Jenny Baranczyk, Oklahoma's head coach, was an assistant on that team.
Jenny Baranczyk said she enjoyed Flau'jae so much during that time. She has such a fun personality, extremely engaging.
They played in the FIBA AmeriCup team where Jenny was an assistant. Carol Lawson, of course, was the head coach of that team. And Flau'jae and Reagan were teammates. They were able to beat Brazil to win gold in Chile. Yeah, she said Flau'jae's work ethic, talking about Jenny Baranczyk, really stood out to her about how hard she works.
And I think that's something that should always be noted. You know, Flau'jae Johnson, she has a rap career and she's such a performer and she does so many things off the court, but it doesn't take away from the work that she puts on the court to perform the way she does.
Kate Koval with the foul. That'll be her third.
LSU foul number 13.
Important to note on the other end, Brooklyn Stewart for Oklahoma moments ago picked up her fourth foul. So she's on the bench for Oklahoma. Verholst got loose. Chavez got it back. Nope. Flau'jae with the steal. Flau'jae with the putback.
Flau'jae Johnson.
Oklahoma timeout.
And LSU ends up taking that play and going and scoring 2 points. So that quick shot from Verholst ends up almost being like a turnover because of what LSU was to make out of it. They've got to get Beers the ball, especially when she buries a defender under the rim.
She's calling for it right here. Exactly, that's the pass you have to make. And normally that's a shot Reagan Beers will hit, but it's a mindset change, is it not, from the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about the game that Peyton Verholst has had, and she's had a great game. Reagan Beers sat most of the first half. So all of the guards, they had to create for themselves in that first half and play off of each other, and they're thinking jump shot while Beers is on the bench. Now that Beers is back on the floor, they've got to think play inside out. And then to put a little pressure as well on Reagan Beers, that's a shot she should finish over Grace Knox every time.
Jada Richard, pull up, free throw line.
Jada Richard.
She's at 15. Flau'jae is leading LSU with 23. Those are their 2 in double figures. Verhulst, deep 3, rattles out. Knox got it back. She just finished that through a double team.
I like Grace Knox's game. She's bouncy. She plays bigger than her size, plays with strength. And still just scratching the surface as a freshman.
Played high school in Las Vegas and in LA, was a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah, she's not a jump shooter. Her shots are finishes at the rim, even there, through a little bit of contact. Plays with a high motor, a lot of effort, and the way that she crashes the glass. I mean, in the game against Texas, Grace Knox had 4 points, but she had 7 rebounds and 4 offensive rebounds. That level of effort made such a big difference without needing to score a lot of points.
Yeah, 7 rebounds against Texas. Her first 3 SEC games, she had a total of 6 rebounds.
She was impactful. Effort on both ends. Doesn't always show up in the points category, but she does a lot of good things for this LSU team as a freshman.
Chavez just got both free throws for Oklahoma. That ended a 9-0 run by LSU.
We'll see if that can get Aaliyah Chavez going.
That's a third on Reagan Beers.
Oklahoma Center, number 15, Reagan Beers. Third personal, team number 3.
The roll to the rim from Grace Knox, and Oklahoma fans are mad because Beers' arms are straight up, but that hip contact while Grace Knox is still in the air, it's a foul.
10 points now for Grace Knox. Make it 11. Largest lead for LSU. Beers staying on the floor with 3 fouls. They've got Brooklyn Stewart waiting to check in.
This is where Chavez is dangerous.
Jump stops for a 2 that rolls out. Almost stole it back from Flau'jae.
Great decision by Flau'jae. LSU didn't have the advantage. Both teams look tired. LSU can execute here.
Did it help Kim Mulkey was screaming behind her, wait?
Hey, at least she listened.
Michaela Williams is fouled by Emma Tolan.
When Emma Tolan has been in the game, just a freshman, plays limited minutes, LSU has been pretty intentional on going at that matchup, whoever Emma Tolan is guarding.
21, Brooklyn Stewart. Number 4, Kaya Smith. And number 6, Sahara Williams. Kayla Williams shooting 2.
Michaela Williams doing most of her damage at the free throw line today. Gets the first one. Well, women's basketball takes over the SEC Network every Thursday night. This week our doubleheader starts at 6:30 Eastern. Border rivalry, Kentucky and Tennessee, and then LSU and Texas A&M coming up on Thursday on the SEC Network.
Jenny Baranczyk resting Chavez, Beers, and Verhulst to finish out the quarter, just giving them a little bit of an extra breather to see if they can make a push in the 4th.
LSU right now, though, on a 13-2 run. Zaya Van over to Sahara Williams. 7 seconds. Van barely got it back. Dangerous pass swiped by LSU. They've got a little time. Jada Richard. Got all the way to the basket, but no look. LSU on a 13-2 run. Courtney Lyle and Drea Carter with you from Norman. A sold-out crowd watching LSU up big on Oklahoma. LSU trying to string together back-to-back ranked wins for the first time since 2023 when they won a national championship.
And we saw this early in the first half, Courtney. Reagan Beers went to the bench, and Mylasia Flau'jae got a layup. When Reagan Beers is on the bench, LSU is being so intentional on trying to get to the rim, as they should. Her presence defensively, she can ultra shots, she can block shots. She's hard to score over. When she is on the bench, the floor and the paint opens up so much.
Reagan Beers playing 18 minutes in this game, 8 of those in the first half due to some foul trouble. Wiley knocks down both free throws. In comes Reagan Beers. She only had 2 field goal attempts in the third quarter. Too few?
Way too few, especially because of the advantage that she has. I mean, think about right now. She has 6'2", Grace Knox on her, who's a freshman. Even when Kate Koval is in the game for LSU, who's 6'5", she's a sophomore. She's not as experienced. Beers is the advantage.
It's going to be a foul on Flau'jae Johnson as Sahara Williams tries to take the shot. Second on Flau'jae.
That's a nice job of execution by Oklahoma as well, because Sahara Williams is so strong, and it's really hard to defend when a player cuts and then immediately seals. So Flau'jae is on the move, and then she has to stop immediately because Sahara Williams turned and posted up. That's a really hard adjustment to make and ends up getting the foul.
Sahara Williams, we watched Oklahoma at shoot-around. She came coming in hot from church this morning, went through shoot-around in her jeans. Whatever it takes, right?
Priorities.
Priorities in
Priorities.
line. Absolutely.
And for people at home that have the time, please look up Sahara Williams' story. There's a story. It's a Sooner story is what they call it, and just everything she has been through to get here at Oklahoma, and she loves it here in Jenny Baranchi. It's a beautiful story. I would encourage everyone to look it up.
Yeah, she has been through a lot. Her mom was incarcerated when she was in high school. At one point, they didn't have a place to live, and Oklahoma reached out a hand to help her, and she has been so thankful for her time at OU. Richard up ahead in transition, got the finish through some contact. Oh, and they just got a steal. For Wiley, open, no. That's going to be a foul on Jada Richard.
Mylasia Flau'jae missed the shot, but we have to go back to Jada Richard because she has played such an excellent game on both ends of the floor. So gets the ball here, is able to finish it with the left. Peyton Verhulst trying to get behind her for the block. And then the effort immediately after to create the steal. That's the effort and the energy. Kim Mulkey talked to us about how Jada Richard was not going to lose her starting spot as the point guard. And she worked this summer to earn it, and she kept it.
You're seeing that work pay off in this game. Flau'jae's got Flau'jae if she needs help. Chavez got to stop. Flau'jae got it back.
It's good defense by Aaliyah Chavez in transition, straight up, blocks the shot.
Oh, Michaela Williams. How did you see Grace Knox? 13 for Knox.
Michaela Williams is an underrated passer. A little less than 4 assists per game, but she has some nice finds. And this is what LSU likes to do. Attack the middle of the floor. Look, 2 defenders. Sahara Williams goes to help, but no one helps Sahara Williams. Peyton Verhulst is late. The ball's delivered where it needs to be, and Grace Knox finishes. When the defense rotates, someone has to rotate behind to help.
No home bounce for Verhulst. But she does get a second chance. Shoots up the 3. Peyton Verhulst has hit 4 3-pointers today. She's got 16 points.
It's a great sign for Oklahoma. Again, Verhulst was struggling from beyond the arc. Coach Baranchik told us she felt like she was putting a lot of pressure on every single shot. She hasn't done that today.
And only averaged about 8 points over her last 5 games. Kim Mulkey calls timeout. Peyton Verhulst is feeling it.
She had 26 to watch.
No.
But the game itself was still fun to watch.
Always got to have something to work on, right?
Well, when 2 teams know each other that well, and they've played each other that many times, it's really tough to face each other and operate in smooth fashion offensively.
Flau'jae flashing to the paint. Sahara Williams on the break. Well, this LSU team, speaking of South Carolina, they're going to take on South Carolina February 14th. That'll be an interesting Valentine's Day.
Yes, it will be.
Not sure how much love there is between those two programs.
Not many.
But it's fun basketball, and we love it.
Oklahoma extending just a little bit of pressure, taking time off the clock for LSU on offense. Need to look to get a stop and continue to run and get in their offense early.
Michaela Williams on the miss. It has not been her night. She's 1 for 8. And Zahara Williams loses it. Drea, when you look at this LSU team, how have they improved since dropping those first 2 games in SEC play? What have you noticed?
Well, their toughness for sure. I mean, the toughness, but the execution in late game situations. And it's something that you have to think about. You know, Mylasia Fulwiley hasn't played in a ton of tight games where she's in the game at the end of the game. And there's a high pressure situation on her. This is still a team that has a lot of new pieces. Jada Richard is just a sophomore. So some of those late game mental mistakes, like this one.
Ran out of time.
Those things were cleaned up in the Texas matchup, but Kim Mulkey told us this team is still a work in progress, and those things are still going to take time.
This was the weakest non-conference schedule under Kim Mulkey at LSU. It was a 284 net. And you see their numbers are inflated because of that. In SEC play, those numbers come down, but finding their way. Chavez in the corner. You know, Drea, Kim talked to us, though, about being a polished team, and part of that is holding on to a lead when you have it.
Exactly. And this is something now Oklahoma's crowd is in it. Oklahoma gets a stop here, goes down and scores. They put even more game pressure on this LSU team.
And Oklahoma's on an 11-0 run. Grace Knox short. Koval too far under the basket, but she's fouled.
LSU has to be careful because Aaliyah Chavez is a player that can heat up. And this is twofold. The offensive rebound starts this, and then Chavez is able to knock down the 3. So 2 things for LSU. Their inability to get the defensive rebound, and then a slow closeout to Chavez. 2 mistakes there give Oklahoma some life.
Well, Brooklyn Stewart just fouled out of this ball game, so there goes your help in the post if you're... I'd say 2 important free throws for Koval. Makes them both.
Very important. And her effort on the offensive glass to quiet the crowd. And so even on that one, that is a rushed shot. Offensive
foul on Flau'jae Johnson. Her 3rd as Aaliyah Chavez takes the charge.
Flau'jae Johnson for personal, team number 4.
Give Aaliyah Chavez credit. 2 feet there before Flau'jae Johnson takes off. Absolutely right where she needs to be. And on a day where the offense hasn't been what we're used to seeing from Aaliyah Chavez, I appreciate her still giving the defensive effort to make plays.
And we talked to her pregame. Defense is something that she's working on.
It is. She said in high school, a lot of times she was defending the other team's best player. Speaking of defense.
Steal, score, Fulwiley.
I mean, Mylasia Fulwiley, 2nd in the SEC in steals, top 10 in the nation in steals. Her defensive intensity. Even another steal on the ball. Lightning quick hands.
And that was Zaya Van hanging on to Mylasia Fulwiley.
Zaya Van, just a sophomore, and Mylasia Fulwiley sensed it.
I think they call it flagrant foul. Yeah, flagrant 1 foul.
Flagrant 1 foul, couple of shooters for 3, Zaya Van. 2nd personal.
So flagrant 1, unnecessary, hard, or excessive. On ESPN, the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T. Pre-game coverage all day. Also have the game covered on every platform. So many ways to watch. Drea, what you think, Miami or Indiana?
I do think Indiana.
I like to watch Kirk Cignetti's teams.
I'm going with Indiana. I just think that they have dominated. They've dominated every matchup.
I also secretly enjoy watching Kirk Cignetti break the fourth wall and look into the camera. Have you seen those reels of him? He's like the Jim Halpert of The Office.
Yeah,
but
he is a show on the sidelines.
His team is a show too. Five seconds, the dump off to Koval.
It's a good quick delivery from Michaela Williams. Nice job, too, by Koval at getting it up quickly.
Now LSU on a 7-0 run. Flau'jae Johnson and Sahara Williams took a hard collision. Did they call that on Sahara Williams? Yeah, they did.
Flau'jae took a hard hit from the hip of Sahara Williams. Maybe it was that body contact that the refs called.
You can't displace the defender. Them saying that Flau'jae had gotten there, established her position. It's been so interesting to watch Flau'jae fit into this team. And, you know, there's a storyline out there that she was coming off the bench at South Carolina. She wanted to go be a starter. And Kim Mulkey told us that's not the case. She wanted to come learn how to play the point guard position. She doesn't care if she comes off the bench, which she's still doing for LSU, or if she's in the starting lineup.
Yep. Yeah, I talked to Flau'jae yesterday, and she said it's not about starting or coming off the bench. LSU, someone needs to be behind the ball.
Traveling violation on Michaela Williams. Back-to-back turnovers.
Flau'jae Johnson coming back into the game. Ball handler with experience. Does a nice job by Oklahoma, though. Extending pressure, creating back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah, make it 3 turnovers in a row by LSU.
Back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, that's right. Sahara Williams loved the hustle, but she stepped out of bounds once she had the basketball.
A great look as well. Off the pick and pop situation from Williams, had a super clean look at the three-point shot. Give her credit for the hustle, and Oklahoma needs that continued hustle here with their pressure. Zaya Van has so much length at the top of that press, but Jada Richard's quickness is trouble.
Sahara Williams is doing everything right now for Oklahoma.
All over the place.
Offensive foul against Aaliyah Chavez. Kate Koval stepping up to take that charge.
Rough day offensively for Chavez. Give Koval credit there. Sliding over. Flau'jae Johnson still pursuing the ball, so it's hard for Chavez to hit a pull-up jumper, so she continues going. Got caught with nowhere to go except right into Koval.
Chavez just 2 made field goals on the afternoon. Reagan Beers on the block. And LSU.
You Cook has the Holy Trinity in it, but when it comes to the basketball Holy Trinity, their defense making life tough on Oklahoma to score. They've kept it in with the rebounding, and LSU has, until recently, done a nice job taking care of the ball.
That's 4 fouls against Zaya Van. It's an LSU team that started out with 2 losses in SEC play. Their first 2 losses of the season, actually, Kentucky and Vanderbilt, and then found their way.
I mean, this is a game that, scouting report-wise, LSU will walk away very pleased with the job they did on Chavez. 8 points, 2 of 12 from the field. Aaliyah Chavez is an outstanding offensive player. She's a threat from everywhere on the floor, and she's been very limited today.
And she scores more points than any other freshman in the nation at 19.2 a game. Just 8 today, as you said. That's a traveling violation on LSU.
Traveling on the Tigers.
For Oklahoma, where do you go from here? I mean, they're on the brink, about 1:27 seconds away from losing 3 straight conference games for the first time since 2020.
Well, first of all, you have to remind everyone that's a part of the program, staff and players, that the SEC is a gauntlet, and it's a long season, and there's a lot of basketball to be played. So what lessons can they continue to learn from these losses? Now, I know that the score doesn't reflect it, but there were really bright spots for Oklahoma's offense. Spacing is something they wanted to work on. They had great spacing in the first half. So there are still small things that Oklahoma can build on, even within a 3-game losing streak.
Unfortunately, they have South Carolina coming to town next.
Yes, but spacing and Reagan Beers staying out of foul trouble and the team continuing to look for Beers when she's on the floor, those 3 things they can immediately apply because they'll be very important against South Carolina.
You see Charlie Cream's bracketology there. He had Oklahoma as a 4 seed. If you're a 4 seed or better, that means you get to host first and second rounds. That's important. That's 5 fouls on Zaya Van. So Zaya Van and Brooklyn Stewart have fouled out of this ball game for Oklahoma.
Kaya Smith, number 4, for the Sooners. Bella Hines, number 3, for LSU. Jada Richard, for the line.
Just been really impressed with Jada Richard's game. 18 points, could be 19 if she hits this free throw, and 8 of 16 from the field.
That's a career high for her.
She just has there's a cleanness to her game. It's not super flashy, it's not big, but it's clean, it's efficient, and it's effective.
Chavez hits just her 3rd field goal make. 52.9 on the clock, and timeout called.
And that's something that I felt like Oklahoma didn't get into. Really led the charge along with Richard for this LSU team.
And becoming a vocal leader for this LSU team as well, a very key piece to their makeup. Jada Richard eating this clock. Guarded by Kaya Smith.
Richard's just so tough because of the way she can get into a defender's body. And Kaya Smith, just watching her, she's a sophomore but played limited minutes last season, but her length and athleticism, as she gets more playing time and becomes more familiar with the system, I think she's a player that has a lot of potential simply because of her build.
That's number 4 in white for Oklahoma. Michaela Williams and Kate Koval will take a seat for LSU with Jada Richard on the line. You know, it runs in Richard's blood. Her mom balled out at Southern University in Baton Rouge. They get into arguments about who's the better athlete.
I wonder who was better in the classroom. Jada Richard, valedictorian of her class. Takes a lot of pride in what she does in the classroom, but she's got a chip on her shoulder out on the court, and I enjoy watching her play.
She's got a career high today, 21 points. And LSU is going to dribble this one out. It is back-to-back.